Buddy, Epic Magster here. Welcome to the first edition of Let's Talk with Mass Effect. So today's topic is Mass Effect because since Andromeda came out shortly about last week, I probably played maybe about 3 hours of the gameplay, maybe more or less. Only made one mistake. Hopefully, long story short, I didn't go back for a certain person on my team. I found him dead later on. Hopefully that doesn't like have an impact on the rest of the story, because as you all know, Mass Effect is all about decision making and everything.
To be fair, I have not seen or heard from that character ever since.
Okay, so we're good. Shout out to the two people who only gave me questions, Rob and Amber. Thank you guys so much for your list of questions, and I will try to answer them as best as I can. Rob is off screen. He'll be giving me questions and everything. So, yeah. All right, time for the first question.
Thoughts and feelings on the series going into the first Mass Effect game and the series in general.
With Mass Effect, I wanted nothing to do with Mass Effect. It was kind of pushed on me. People kept recommending it to me. I'm like, I want nothing to play with it. I don't want to touch it. Not so anti-Mass Effect. I'm like, I just didn't care. But in the beginning, I honestly didn't really know what to expect. It was just a lot going on with like the missions and decision making, and a little bit stressful at times. Getting towards probably the second game, I was immediately hooked, especially in the beginning of 2. If you don't know, in the beginning of Mass Effect 2...
That opening.
Yes, the opening, basically you die. I was flabbergasted. I was like, oh my gosh, what happened to my Shepard? Oh my gosh, what happened to my crew? Oh my gosh, who are these people called Cerberus? It was a lot going on, and at that point, I probably would have went full Renegade. And then going into 3, same thoughts of all the crazy stuff happened in the beginning with the Reapers coming and all that fun stuff. Towards the end of the game, I was happy that I finally completed something that I spent months on. It was bittersweet. It's like completing any video game, it's just really bittersweet. You like never want it to end. You always want to keep playing.
That you say would be worth it to play through the series. Yes?
Yeah.
Or no?
Yeah, it would. Next question.
Your most difficult missions.
Probably Mass Effect 1, towards the end, I believe it was Vermeer. Going into that was actually pretty stressful. Within the encounter with Rex, your decision on whether to kill Ashley or Kaidan. Missions for 2. Going through the Omega 4 relay. Essentially that suicide mission. That's all I have to say. Mass Effect 3. Again, it's always with getting towards the end, because you're at the point where it's the climax of the story. You're in like the last mission. Everything's crazy and it's always so difficult. So I feel like all the end missions with all 3 games were probably the most difficult.
Least difficult missions that you thought would be harder or give you more of a challenge. Also, most disappointing mission you thought would be something more.
I think it was probably a lot of the side missions, I want to say. As much as they're important to the story, I felt like most of them were a little bit of a waste of time, having to like go out on my way to different planets and everything.
Which game?
1. 1 took me the longest because of all the side missions and everything.
Thoughts on the DLC? For 1, 2, and 3, separate entries for each.
But Mass Effect 1, I think, oh, that was the one, did the Batarians have hostages?
Yes.
Okay, I remember that mission. So, my first run through of that one, after dealing with the Batarian terrorist, my thought process was to, I believe, stop the Batarian?
I believe the first thing you did was try to stop Val.
Yes, I stopped him. The ending result was the hostages were killed. And they were, burning bodies in the room. So I was just like, oh. It was pretty tough, especially, again, you're thrown into one of those crazy decision makings where you're just like, you do A, B happens. You do B, C happens. So, I think I pretty much saved the hostages and let the Batarian go. Mass Effect 2, I don't remember much of the 2 DLC. Besides, Shadow Broker was in part of 2, was it? That was part of 1. Oh my gosh!
No. I told you to wait a second.
We have revelation.
Main things in 2. There was the Normandy crash site.
For you, Normandy, you are the best, but you were given back to me, but you're run by Cerberus.
It gave you Zaid.
Oh, Zaid! I like Zaid. He's fun to talk to. You find him on Omega. His loyalty mission was kind of fun. At one point, I was ready to leave him because he was being completely stubborn with trying to go after this man that he's been looking for a while. I think with character DLC, that's always probably the best, to be honest.
There were some weapons and armor packs for 2. The Firewalker pack, which I really don't remember too much, honestly. Kasumi, which introduced another squad mate.
The funny story with that, I actually unintentionally found that. I just kind of went to this monitor Actually, no, I'm just like, somebody's talking to me and I don't know who. So I unintentionally found Kasumi and I'm like, oh, well, that happened. So, yay.
Overlord DLC.
Refresh my memory?
That's the one with the VI, the scientist and his brother.
All I know the ending result of that one is that you find his brother who's pretty much almost dead or like close to being dead.
He's being used to try to control Geth. And he is being used to control the Geth by his brother.
Yeah, brother was a jerk.
Lara the Shadowbroker was Mass Effect 2.
Okay. That was a fun mission. I just did not like fighting the main guy that you find
You
at
mean
the
the
end.
Yogg?
Yeah,
Yogg was fun.
that fight was really, really intense, and I almost died during that fight. I know my answer for Mass Effect 3. It's Citadel! Essentially, you're on a shore leave, and it's like probably one of the best DLCs that I went through. Well, my disappointment with that is that I didn't thoroughly go through Citadel. So eventually in the future, I might go back to that. And plus with 3, I did not finish Omega. So that's 2 things I have to go back to. But really fun DLCs. Probably one of the best out of the 3.
The main DLC points are from Ashes,
Mm-hmm.
which gives you a certain squad mate. Your only DLC squad mate in 3.
Javik.
There you go. Now you can talk about him.
He likes to throw people out the airlock. That's all I can say. I never really used him. The moment that I finished 3, I was kind of done with Mass Effect.
So Leviathan.
Oh, that was actually really stressful.
That's where you discover, like the origins of the Reapers.
I like that one. It was fun.
There's Omega. which
I still
you
need.
never did.
I still need to finish.
Yeah. The main bullet point of that is you are teaming up with Arya T'Loak to reclaim Omega from Cerberus.
Yeah.
Your thoughts on the ending of 3?
I went with Synthesis.
Synthesis.
Yes. Green. I just felt it was a better choice just kind of merging everything together. I don't know. I just felt like there could have been a better outcome. But seeing how quickly 3 went with the final run, getting to the Citadel, you meet up with Anderson and the Elusive Man, and all over crazy. I was just pretty much shocked the entire time because I'm just like, I don't know what worse could happen in this predicament. But with the Synthesis reaction, I guess, ending, that's probably one of the better choices out of the 3.
What was your biggest surprise in the game? 2 individual games in the series overall, and DLC, everything's on the list. Or something you weren't really expecting.
There's a lot of things I wasn't expecting in 1. I didn't expect to have that confrontation with Rex, where I know if things go wrong, you essentially lose him as a squad mate.
Actually kills him.
Oh, well, that's great.
If things are not going well, she will step in and shoot him to save you.
Well,
because she feels that he's going to kill you.
I think your last encounter with Saren, that was kind of crazy. He did not expect him to shoot himself in the face, which I was just like, oh, that happened. Mass Effect 2, the opening. That's all I have to say. Your Shepard dies, you're running with the Collectors, and then you have Cerberus helping you. Alright, ready to start this game, and I'm dead? Why? 3, probably the Reaper attack in the very beginning, because that's something that you least expect. Oh,
I do think you missed a moment in 2.
what was that?
The Archangel mission.
I'm getting to the Archangel mission. Rob takes over the mission. I'm just kind of sitting there thinking, I don't know what's happening, looking for this guy. And then Garrus pops up, and I'm like, oh, that was unexpected. And then he gets shot in the face.
With a rocket from a gunship.
Unfortunately. So, a lot of the opening moments, 3, I said, was the Reaper attack.
Okay, just that. Nothing else in that series caught you off guard or surprised you in that game.
Citadel DLC with Shepard and Garrus tangoing, because it's just like, that's probably one of the most cutest moments in the game.
The saddest and most emotional moments for you.
Essentially, in Mass Effect 2, the suicide mission. The suicide mission, essentially, you're given different task, and each squad mates have to be assigned to said task.
And it is literally suicide mission. People can and will die.
And you never get them back again. Unless
Well, death is permanent. There are no Dragon Balls.
Yeah, unless you do the point of actually saving before going to said mission. First run through, I had a tech and a leader. So I went with Tali as my tech. So I sent her through the vents to unlock the door on the other side. And to lead my first squad, just going through my options, reading everyone's description. My first thought was, let me go with Samara. We get to the last cutscene, we're getting through the door, everyone's getting through. No one's actually directing anybody's. Doors aren't closing. Tali tries to close the door. She takes a collector rocket to the face, dies. All I can do is sit there with this shocked look on my face. Oh my gosh. I just killed my squad mate. We're just gonna move on from this? Then I had to take about 5 minutes to myself because I actually cried. Losing said squad mate after, like, being with her from the beginning was pretty stressful. And again, like, I cried for like 5 minutes, no lie. So
There was another moment later on in that mission where you were like on the verge of tears.
I think when Garrus got shot in the chest, and I was just like, ah! I'm okay, no, he's fine. I can stop having anxiety right now.
There were some tears there, just minor ones.
Sorry, I thought I lost a squad mate. But out of my first run of the suicide mission, I only lost one person. That was Tally. Everything else I did right. But of course, I went back to previous saves and chose the right people. And then everyone lived happily ever after into Mass Effect 3.
Favorite and least favorite characters, and this does not include only squad mates, but anybody you've encountered throughout the game that you like, dislike, and it doesn't have to be just one person.
Rex, he's pretty fun. He essentially was my best squad mate at the end of 1. Always took him and Garrus with me everywhere. Mordin and Thane, they were really good. Carried out the rest of my Mass Effect 2 missions. Plus, Thane's just pretty chill. I like him. And Mordin is just super fun. As much as he talks like 100 miles an hour, he's very, very fun to talk to. I guess like those 3 would probably fall in line for more favorites and everything.
Favorite non-squad mate character?
Joker. He's really, really fun. And he just kind of makes jokes the entire time because he's Joker.
Now your least favorite or most hated characters?
I did not like Miranda. I'm sorry. She was just one character I really didn't care for. The same thing goes with Jacob. I just didn't care for them. So they were my least favorite. Didn't really use them. So
Missions that you liked or hated?
like Citadel. That's always my favorite.
Any one that least favorite one that you didn't like?
I think probably the final rush of Mass Effect 3, getting through like all the Reaper affected creatures and everything. It was just really annoying. So just fighting those waves of enemies is just like.
Pick a planet and location that you hated, that you liked or disliked.
Probably the moon because you can see the Earth. That's always pretty to look at.
What about enemies?
Banshees. Long story short, do not charge at a banshee. They're just gonna grab your face and kiss you and you die.